So this is the first scenario that we are going to discuss about KataCoda Docker containers. So in this first scenario, we are going to discuss how we can deploy the first Docker container. So when you click the scenario, you can see the description about the scenario. So it says we're going to do the first Docker container deployment part. So if you want to know what is Docker describes themselves as an open platform for developers and sysadmins to build, ship, and run distributed applications. So Docker allows you to run containers. So we will discuss more about those containers and Docker stuff in upcoming scenarios. So we'll move to the scenario 1. So in this one we are going to run a container. So the first thing we have to do is to identify the name of the Docker image. So here in this one, it is configured to run Redis. So using this Docker search Redis, we can find out the image that we are going to use for Redis. Then in order to run the container based on a Docker image, we are using this docker run -t redis command. So using that one, we can run the image. So by default, Docker will run the latest version available. So this is the most latest version of Redis. Docker run -d Redis :latest will display the most latest Redis version. That is the image that we are using. Then in step 2, we are going to find running containers. So as we discussed in the beginning, all of these are based on containers. So we are going to find running containers. So the launch container is running in the background. So if you want to list all the running containers now, you have to use this docker ps command. So if you use docker ps command, it will display all the running containers. Then if you move to step 3, in this step we are going to access Redis. So Redis, hope you all can remember, that is the image that we have downloaded, and that is what we are going to use throughout the program. How we are going to access the Redis? So how to access it? Okay. So we're using this docker run -d name Redis host port, and we are giving a port number. Likewise, by default, the port of the host is mapped to 0.0.0.0, which means all IP addresses, right? So you can specify a specific IP address when you define the port mapping. Now we are going to move to step 4. In this step, we are going to access Redis. So in order to access Redis, we are using this command. When you use one fixed port, you can only run one instance. But if you want to run multiple instances, we can't specify one specific port to be used. So now we'll see what we can do. Using this docker run the command, it will enable a randomly available port. So now we are not specifying any port number, it will be randomly allocated. But if you want to know the port number, what you can do? What is the port that we're using? How we can know? Is this docker port redis dynamic command? And if you want to find out the listening containers, we have to use this docker ps. So we'll move to step 5, persisting data. So the problem with the process so far is the data stored keeps being removed when we delete and create a container. So the data is not persistent. If you want to make the data to be persistent and reuse, what we can do. So in this step, we are going to persisting data. So we can use this command. And if you use $pwd, Docker allows you to use $pwd as a placeholder for the current directory. So the last step of this scenario is running a container in the foreground. So far the container work, all those things we did in the background. But now if you want to run the content or the container in the foreground, what you can do? So one example is given here. Docker run Ubuntu PS, it will launch an Ubuntu container, execute the command ps to use all the running container, all the running processes in a container. Using run -id Ubuntu bash, it will allow to get access to bash shell inside a container. So now we have run a Ubuntu and then we have got all the running then we have got bash shell inside the running container. So that's all for this scenario. Now we can move to the next scenario.